guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Irene and I'm a registered dietitian, and today we're only eating Japanese food. So Japanese food is another one of my favorite cuisines just because it's like kind of diverse in the types of foods and dishes that they eat. So you have like sushi, and then you have like bento boxes, and then you have like noodles and things. And Japanese food is just so tasty. So today I'll be showing you guys a couple different Japanese dishes slash meals that are super easy to make because I'm not a good cook. At least that's what my mom says.
Boom. Roasted.
And if I can make it, then I feel like anyone can. So for breakfast, we are going to be having a semi-traditional Japanese breakfast. And I say semi-traditional because I, on accident, did not prepare all the ingredients correctly. And so we're gonna have to make a couple of like swaps and things. But for breakfast, a lot of Japanese people have like a very like traditional Asian breakfast, kind of like how Koreans and Chinese people don't have like breakfast foods, so to speak. So Japanese people eat rice for breakfast a lot of the times, and their traditional like breakfast spread includes a couple of different like components in it, including like a fish, like an egg dish, like a pickled vegetable dish, which I forgot to prepare, and some rice and like vegetables and seaweed and like a miso soup, which I also did not prepare correctly. So I'm gonna be attempting to make all these dishes, obviously going to take the easy way out some of these dishes. So I'm going to start by making the miso soup. I have this mild miso paste that I typically use for all of my stuff. I did not buy like one of those just miso soup packets, which I feel like are super handy, and I should have, but I didn't think about it. I also have a little dashi packet that I'm going to add to the miso soup just to give it more of like a soup based flavor instead of just the miso. And lastly, I'm adding some nori. I should be adding seaweed, but I did not have that and did not buy it by accident. So this is what we're going to use instead. Next, for our veggie side, we're going to do some sauteed spinach. Next, we're gonna go super simple with our egg dish and just do some sunny side fried eggs. Lastly, I have some salmon that I've been marinating in some teriyaki sauce, and I'm just going to cook this on the pan. Alright, so here we have our Japanese breakfast spread. I love how colorful it is. We pretty much have like every color of the rainbow, I guess. So we have like a good protein with the salmon and also the eggs. Eggs are also a good source of like fat too. And then we also have spinach and some greens. We got carbs. So we got like pretty much everything. And this wasn't terribly hard to make. It was just a lot of like components that all cooked like relatively quickly. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. I feel like I always have to like start off with soups and things. So we'll go ahead and start off with this miso soup. That tasted really good, and it wasn't anything that I did. It was just the dashi and the miso. Who knew that would taste good? So yeah, that definitely tastes like a miso soup. I did not add tofu in here because I forgot to buy silken tofu, and that was my problem. And I was also a little lazy, so not completely authentic miso soup. Then I just have an egg here, which I decided to do like a runny sunny side up egg. I don't know if it's like super traditional. I feel like everything here is like semi-traditional because evidently I can never follow directions correctly when it comes to cooking. I'm always like making substitutions. Maybe that's why my cooking is always so bad. But we just got like a regular egg. Tastes delicious. We also have some spinach. I put in like half the box, and I'm always surprised every time I cook spinach, and like I end up with this tiny amount, and I'm like, wow, I guess I should have put more in there. That tastes good too, seasoned with salt and garlic powder. And then I have our salmon here, which I don't cook salmon a whole ton. Usually that's Steven's job. So I truly have no idea how this turned out. I like grilled it, and I wasn't sure if it was cooked or not, so we'll kind of see. Okay. I might as well call myself a chef now because the salmon actually tasted really good. And I don't know if it was because like of the specific salmon that I bought. The proportion of fattiness to flesh, I guess, in the salmon is really good. I will make that for myself again sometime. Wow, massive success for breakfast. Was not expecting to really actually enjoy everything that I made, but this was really good. Maybe I'll make it if I have time on the weekends again. All right, welcome to lunch. Today we have a super simple, easy to make lunch. I am making some tempura shrimp udon noodles. This is like one of my go-to weeknight dinners for something that's super quick and easy to make and also super cozy for the winter months as well. And so I really just bought some tempura shrimp from Costco. If you don't want to use tempura shrimp, or if you want to make your own, that's fine. You could also use fish balls or like any other protein really that you want to put in here. The noodle and like soup base is all like kind of the same, and you can just like mix and match to kind of fit your own style. So for the udon noodles, I have these like pre-cooked noodles that are frozen. For the soup base, it's also super easy as well. I typically use dashi, and there's I guess a couple different kinds of dashi. My preference is the liquid one. I just feel like it tastes better, so I usually will add that, but I don't have that right now. I haven't been able to find it at my local Asian grocery store. They also sell them in packets as well, which is what I'm going to be using today. And then for vegetables, I just have some bok choy that I have washed. So first things first is I have my parchment lined baking sheet, and I'm just gonna put the tempura shrimp on there and get them cooking. So the noodles cook super fast. I think they were only in here for like a minute, and then they're ready to be taken out because they're already cooked. And then once I finish cooking the noodles, I get started on the broth. For the broth, all I'm doing is adding this dashi packet and also some soy sauce just for that color. I think I might have added a little bit too much of the soy sauce, so I'm trying to dilute it with a little bit of water, but it looks like it's still pretty dark. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put my bok choy directly into the broth. I feel like this gives it like kind of some extra flavor and also reduces your cooking time. All right, so this is our end result. I feel like it looks pretty good and very appetizing. It really only took like maybe 10 minutes to make. And so let's give it a taste. The broth definitely tastes very good thanks to the dashi packet, and I feel like since everything's kind of like already pre-made, you just like can't go wrong with it. And the noodles are always like so perfectly chewy. And there's nothing against like buying pre-made stuff. I feel like it just makes your life a lot easier. So I'm gonna eat this and then carry on with the rest of my day, and I'll see you again at dinner. Welcome to dinner. So I have a couple of pretty simple ingredients in front of me, including some rice, some shrimp, mixed vegetables, eggs, ketchup, soy sauce, and sesame oil. And so based off of these ingredients, I'm sure that you can guess that I am going to be making some omu rice for dinner. Omu rice is a pretty traditional Japanese dish and kind of like the Japanese take on fried rice almost. Instead of incorporating the egg into the rice is kind of like wrapped in this egg blanket almost. And I feel like over the last couple of years, it's become more and more popular because there have been some very creative takes on omu rice, such as the one that I always remember from like YouTube is the one with like the little egg pouch on top of the fried rice, and you slice into it, and then like the ooey gooeyness of the egg just like comes out and covers the rice, and I feel like that definitely has a huge wow factor to it. But I'm gonna attempt a very like simple version of omu rice today. It's just going to be basically fried rice wrapped in a little omelet. All right, so we're gonna start with some oil. I'm using sesame just because I feel like it is kind of like the best oil to use for fried rice because it's so fragrant. Then I've got my mixed vegetables, which I'm just gonna dump in there from frozen.
Once the veggies are pretty much like thawed and starting to cook, it's time to throw in the rice. So this is some rice from earlier today that I made, and it's just been sitting out, so it's like nice and dry and perfect for fried rice. You want to kind of get in there and just separate all the grains of rice so that it gets nice and like crispy, I guess, in a way, and so it's just like not clumpy. And now that the rice has had some time to stir fry, I'm going to go ahead and add my thawed shrimp. And I'm also going to season it now with some salt, garlic powder, white pepper powder, soy sauce, and some ketchup for that classic sweeter omurice flavor. And now that the fried rice is pretty much done, you can set that aside in another bowl, and then we can get to making the omelet part. For the omelet portion, I'm just going to whisk up 2 eggs and a little bit of milk. Now, using the same pan, I'm just going to make sure that I coat the pan with some oil. Then I'll go ahead and just pour in my egg mixture. And then once the bottom is like pretty much set, I think that we can just go ahead and add our fried rice. I feel like this side is more set than the other side, so I'll just start on this side here. Whoops. Might have like too much fried rice. So then I'll just want to like carefully somehow fold the egg over. And then let me just try and plate this because I don't think that this is going anywhere. Okay, and here goes nothing. So it's not perfect, but let me see if I can maybe fix it up a little bit. We'll add a little bit of ketchup garnish. Why is this ketchup so runny? Okay, so we've got our final product here. It's a little like rustic looking. I think that the ketchup was sitting on the counter for a little bit too long, and so it just like got runny and didn't squeeze right, so there it's just I don't even know how to describe it, but looks wise it's not the most impressive omurice, but I feel like we should give it a taste. I feel like that bite had a lot of ketchup, but fried rice is good, egg is good, ketchup tastes like ketchup. Overall, I think I added a little bit too much salt, but still pretty good. So I will eat this for dinner, and this pretty much concludes eating only Japanese food for a day. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.